The best one I have is when I took her to Gettysburg for the first time. We actually got out on the battlefield that night.
Mhm.
And this was a place where men fell and men were buried, then redug up and put into the cemetery. When we were out there, we didn't really get anything much. I had an XLS camera. So I started walking around in the woods and I thought, well, maybe they think this is a gun. So I
Right.
said, guys, this is not a gun. This is a camera. I'm just taking pictures and stuff like that. Not even 3 seconds after I said that, stick figure popped in on the battlefield.
Wow.
But it popped in and then it laid down on the ground and was like going like this, like he was in pain. And there was
Wow.
something about his legs. The rest of the stick figure looked normal, but his legs were like really tiny. Couldn't see him. And I said, is there something wrong with your legs? Because you look like you're wounded. And all of a sudden the obelisk box went legs.
Wow.
Stuff. So, and we got film of all that. We documented that.
Yeah.
And that, to me, that was one of the best adventures I ever had.
Yeah.
In the paranormal war room, the legends arise. We're diving deep down where the truth never lies. Diving deep down where the truth never lies. Unravel the mysteries, let the stories unfold. This beat, these tales are daring and bold.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Paranormal War Room. I'm your host Corky, and I'm joined today by Beyond the Grave Ghost Hunts. Seven and Scott, how are you guys doing?
We're both doing good.
Doing great. We just got back from Paracon yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I
up
seen
there
that.
at
How was that?
Fairfield County Infirmary.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So that
What
was our
all
first
kind of stuff they have going on there?
They had a lot of vendors, a lot of other paranormal teams, and we got to do the building, get some photographs, some videos.
Yeah.
Right. What building was that again? I'm sorry, I must have missed that.
It's the Randolph County,
Fairfield.
Fairfield. There's two that we usually go to. Fairfield County Infirmary. It's over in Lancaster, Ohio.
Okay. That's awesome. Did anything cool happen or?
Yeah, a lot of cool stuff. A lot of the vendors were selling some of them had like equipment and stuff like that. A lot of them were actual groups. So we got to meet a lot of different groups and share different stories and information to them and get new followers, and it was just nice. It was really nice.
No, I liked it because we got photo ops, we can do some videos,
Yeah, they had the actual place open. So like you could like walk in and like enjoy it, take photos, videos.
Well, that's cool. Yeah, well, tell me what got you guys started in all this? What, something that had to happen, from my experience, something always happens that gets people interested in the paranormal. So what happened to just kind of kick this journey off for you guys?
We can start with mine. I was at Devil's Den in Gettysburg.
Okay.
And I thought it was all a bunch of hoax, probably about 17 years ago. And I had a digital voice recorder out there. So I'm messing around and no one's around me. And I said, this is for the Confederates. I said, you guys came up here, you started a fight, you guys got your asses whooped. What do you think about that? Waited about 3 minutes, and then I rewinded it. And after I said, you guys got your asses whooped, what do you think about that? I heard a real mean, I don't like you.
No doubt.
And every hair on my body stood up.
Yeah, it's a wonder you didn't catch a spiritual bullet there or something like it.
Well, yeah, like I said, I was kind of naive about how to go in there and that aggressive and stuff like that. So once I left the battlefield, I was walking back to my car. It felt like I had my dad on my ass wanting to kick it. You ever had that feeling? Like you're getting taken to the woodshed? So I snuck back out there the next night, and I went out there and I apologized. Had the same voice recorder. And when I said, my name is Scott, let's start over. My name is Scott. I don't mean you guys any disrespect. You sacrifice for what you believe in. I got to admire that. And then when I played it back, I heard someone mocking my name saying, Scott, 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 like 4 times. And then there was like gunshots in the background.
Wow, really?
Yeah. And that was probably about 1:30 in the morning.
Wow.
So there was no one shooting around that time. So that was my experience to get me in. And then hers is.
So I actually started working at the bar that he also works at, and we ended up introducing each other, and I got interested because he said that he actually has a ghost hunting business, and all that. And I was like, I thought that was the coolest thing because I've always been intrigued with, the macabre and anything, scary and spooky and
Absolutely.
stuff like that. So I really asked him some questions, and then he invited me. It was to Randolph County and Asylum, and
Yeah.
yeah, from
We
since
had a hell
then
of a night.
since then I've been hooked. I just, I can't stop.
Yeah.
And I won't.
I like to invite new people just to kind of get them, to see if I can make a believer out of them.
Yeah.
And 9 out of
Right.
10 times I do make a believer out of people. So that's the coolest part of it
Yeah.
all. When they go in
Yeah,
there and
that
say, "Oh,
is
this
cool.
ain't real, this is BS," and
Mhm.
stuff like that. And all of a sudden you get a screaming voice coming through the kitchen that everybody
Yeah.
heard with their ears.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
And
that's
I
awesome.
already I hadn't gone on to an actual professional ghost hunt. But I've always enjoyed it. So it was exciting to actually have the chance to have the affordability and be able to go.
and now she's
Was
a
it great?
team member.
Yeah.
That's awesome. My daughter, for her birthday this year, her and a group of her friends, they have all rented the Harriman Hospital here in Tennessee, and every one of them going on their first ghost hunt.
Oh my gosh.
I told her, I said, you better not bring nothing back home, man.
Yeah, I tell people not to antagonize.
Mhm.
Don't believe something's not going to happen, and don't believe something will happen. Just
Yeah.
kind of stay
Right.
in the middle and use your body as the best equipment you got,
Exactly.
and go from there. And then we usually do the sage or say the Lord's prayer after we're done.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
protection.
one of the questions I always like to ask paranormal investigators. What do you do to protect yourself? Because you hear stories of people bringing stuff home and stuff like that. What do you do to protect yourself before you go into an investigation? It's like that.
I say the Lord's prayer
Right.
myself, and so does she. And we don't antagonize. We don't try to
hmm
piss them off,
Mhm.
because that's when I think that you're going to get most of the trouble.
Yeah.
And
And
it's,
you need to leave
so
that
we try
stuff
to
for
go in there with
TV.
respect,
Mhm.
treat them with
Exactly.
respect, ask questions and see what you get.
We do like jokes though. We do like making jokes.
Yeah.
What got you started?
Me, man, my mother, I was always, watching horror movies. Actually, and I always end up telling this story. I do this podcast, but my other podcast I do, me and a bunch of my friends, we review horror movies every week, and we
Oh,
have a
that's
great
cool.
time doing that. But my mom just always telling me ghost stories and stuff like that growing up. I've always thought it's cool. And growing up, I would listen to Art Bell. I don't know if you guys know who that is, but I would listen to him, driving to work in the mornings. And the moment I got the chance to start a podcast and talk about ghost stories all the time, that's exactly what I did.
Yeah, that's
So,
smart.
yeah. So,
Have you ever had any experience? I mean,
oh, dude,
with the spirits?
I'll just send you a link
Okay,
to a
so
podcast.
you're an actual paranormal investigator, just not a
I don't
podcast, right?
investigate. I'm more like to talk to people about investigating. But I live in a house that was built in 1864, and when we moved in here, it was basically an episode you would see like the Amityville Horror or something like that. But I have told it on another podcast. If you guys want to hear about it, you can go listen to that because it would take me an hour to go through all that. But yeah, when we first moved in here, the first 4 months we lived here, it was something you'd see on TV. It really was. And
So you
stuff
don't need
like
to
that.
go any places. You got it all there at your house.
No, well, I'm not going to investigate my house because I got to live here. But I think me and that when I first moved in here, I think there was something. I don't know how you guys believe, but I think maybe it was a demonic or whatever.
Yeah.
And I think that's gone now. And I think there is still spirits here because this house over 200 years old. You can imagine the history of this house.
Yeah.
And I think the bad's gone, and maybe the not bad is still here. So what's still here now, we get along good, and we don't have to worry
Okay,
about
good.
nothing.
All
So,
right, good.
but yeah, but I'm very anxious to know some of the adventures you guys have had because I love these stories. So please tell us some of your good adventures you've had out there investigating the
No,
paranormal, man.
The best one I have is when I took her to Gettysburg for the first time. We actually got out on the battlefield that night,
Mhm.
and this was a place where men fell and men were buried, then redug up and put into the cemetery. When we were out there, we didn't really get anything much. I had an XLS camera, so I started walking around in the woods, and I thought, well, maybe they think this is a gun. So I
Right.
said, guys, this is not a gun. This is a camera. I'm just taking pictures and stuff like that. Not even 3 seconds after I said that, stick figure popped in on the battlefield.
Wow.
But it popped in and then it laid down on the ground and was like going like this, like he was in pain. And there was
Wow.
something about his legs. The rest of the stick figure looked normal, but his legs were like really tiny and you couldn't see them. And I said, "Is there something wrong with your legs? Because you look like you're wounded." And all of a sudden the obelisk box went legs.
Wow.
So, and we got film of all that. We documented that.
Yeah.
And that, to me, that was one of the best adventures I ever had.
Yeah. That was really, that was all times.
What was your favorite?
Oh my God. I've had so many experiences.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's hard to pick.
Well, we got all day, man. Let's hear about them.
I've had so many. So, I think the first biggest one, and that's the one that was more recent. It was our last visit to Fairfield. And we were in the attic area, and we weren't really, we were just, messing around or whatever. We had a full blown like conversation with a very, very intelligent, we like to call him Walter.
Yeah, his name's Walter.
Walter.
Yeah.
But we had EMFs out. We had like the REM pod. We had like traps, like the ground traps where if they walk.
The ropes.
Yeah. They'll like light up. And then we had the obelisk. So we have everything going on. We have the XLS on, and it was a good session. Everything was going off. Every time he asked a question, it would answer. When we asked do specific things, it would do the specific things. And then I also remember that night as well in the attic. I don't know if that was before or after. But it like the area changed, it shifted in energy, and it was kind of like panicky. Does that make sense? And all of a sudden we heard like I don't know how to describe it other than like a witch's like
scream.
Howl or scream.
Yeah.
It was very.
But we didn't catch that with our ears. We caught that on the mic after.
No, we caught it with our ears.
Okay,
remember, I did at least.
Yeah. And we
Because
also
I
caught
was
it
sitting.
on mic. I didn't hear it with my ear, but we caught it on.
I was sitting right behind it when I heard it, and I noticed that, and I said there was something over here, and you can hear it on the film when we played it back, but it was there, and it did not sound pretty.
It doesn't sound good.
Yeah, but that made like my entire my hair on my body just fucking stick up. And
no doubt, man.
Yeah,
something about a screaming woman that just puts terror inside of you.
Yeah, and that night too, that if we weren't asking questions, that EMF detector was not going off. It was quiet.
Wow.
And we had a funny moment, where one of my teammates asked him if he, can you swear on this?
Go for it, buddy. We're all adults here, man.
He said, "Walter, earlier, did you say that you miss whiskey?" Because I said, "Do you miss whiskey?" So he asked him if he missed. Okay, nothing happened. So another teammate said, "Beaver." They're naming these names for the women's private part. So I waited a couple seconds and I said, "Walter, you miss vagina." And I said, maybe they didn't call it back then, back in the early 1900s.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I thought that was kind of funny. So I went to the, technical term for it, and it lit up. I mean,
and we do have video of that.
Yeah, that's one of the best EMF sessions I've ever had in my 17 years.
Yes.
Very good.
Definitely send me that video. I want to see that, man.
Yeah, that entire session up there changed my life. Like that was just insane.
And the other one that I had was at Fairfield County Infirmary. I was in the morgue by myself, and I got the film of this, and I got the camera, and I'm like, this is a spooky place, speaking underneath my voice being locked in there. And all of a sudden, the strap on my camera was twisted. And I was like, well, I got to straighten out the strap or something like that. My thumb hurts. Then you can hear a child's voice say, "You hurt?"
Wow,
and
really?
I didn't hear that with my ears. When I played that back at home, I heard that, and it's clear as day. One of the best EVPs I ever got. Very intelligent, knew what was going on, was listening to what I was saying. So that was cool. And I can say that one too, but Everything that
No
we
doubt.
talk about, we got it documented. If I
Yeah.
can't document it, then I just say,
Yeah.
it
Yeah. I
50/50
like to
chance.
add that stuff into the show. I after you guys tell the stories, I like to, pop that clip in there so people can
Of
see what
course.
you just talked about.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
we
think
got
that's
them
pretty
broke
awesome.
down to about 30-second clips, so
Yeah.
make it
Yeah,
easier
yeah.
for
Yeah.
everybody.
Yeah, that's
So, I
awesome.
like that. But no, I've had so many great experience. I've met so many great people doing
Mhm.
this. It's a great community to be in there.
It really is. It really is. I've
It's
even
a
noticed that
really
through
great community.
podcasting. And I interview all you guys like this, and everybody is just so awesome. And everybody helps each other. It's not like a competitive type deal. Everybody's just out helping each other. And that's one thing I have enjoyed, doing this and getting into all these different communities out here because everybody's just super awesome, man.
What I enjoy the most too is that I like to show new people the ropes, how the equipment works. Because I
Mhm.
got full spectrums cameras, I've got XLS cameras, I got all these equipments and stuff, and I find it very enjoying to just to teach people how everything works, and then let them take the equipment and go on off,
Right.
and then have
Well,
their eyes come back real big, and oh my God, this went off when I asked the question. I said, well, there you go, get back down there and do some more. So that's great to hear.
Well, that's a good lead into this next question I was gonna ask you. When you going into a investigation, what's your setup? What's your process? What equipment do you usually use? What's your favorite piece of equipment? Stuff like that. Run us through a typical investigation that you guys do.
Well,
You first.
what we do there is that I like to unload everything. Then I give Seven a camera and I let her go walk around and film some stuff. If there's someone there that knows the history about it, we like to interview them. We got a good interview with Ted from Randolph County Asylum.
Mhm.
Real good one. He knows everything about that building. And then after we get everything set up, I like everything set up on a table because I don't like to take out a lot of equipment at the same time and have a big mess to clean up. So once we do that, then we walk through the building just to get a feel for it. Where does it feel weird at? And then we start setting up X cameras. And then once we go hit a spot and we go sit there and try to fish them out, try to get them to talk. And
What's
just
your favorite equipment to
what's
use?
my favorite equipment to
Yeah.
use? Well, that's like my favorite child. The XLS camera I really enjoy because when I caught a stick figure jumping in and out of a mirror in a room, I
Wow.
mean, it started in a mirror and then popped right on out onto the floor and then popped right back into the mirror. So that kind of proved that portals are kind of real
Yeah, exactly.
and stuff like that. And that's one of my favorite. I mean, all of them is my favorite. Some equipment's going to catch some evidence and some aren't. Like the RIM pod, it'll go off maybe once every 5 investigation, but then some
Mhm.
nights it won't shut up. And
Right.
then EMFs are the same way. So I like the camcorders and I like the EMFs. I mean,
Yeah.
XLS. That's my favorites.
Mhm.
What's yours?
Yeah. Yeah.
So my favorite is going to be the dowsing rods and the
Okay.
Ovilus. I use the Ovilus and the dowsing rods hand in hand. So I'll usually put the Ovilus next to me and then I'll have the dowsing rods. My dowsing rods were gifted from Bill Fritz. He was part of our group and team, but sadly he passed away
Oh,
not
man.
too long after giving me the dowsing rods. They were blessed and everything, so like that means a lot to me. He taught me how to use them. So yeah. Rest in
Was he
peace, but
just was he just part of you guys' group or
he
Well,
was
he was part of End of Days Paranormal.
yeah.
okay.
And we would team up with those guys,
Okay.
and more the merrier in some ways.
Right, right.
And Bill Fritz was a good investigator.
He's wonderful.
I think we were down in Randolph County, and I was filming him, and he goes, "Whoa, who's standing behind me? Get away from me! Don't stand behind me like that!" And all of a sudden, he says, "I hear the word. Someone just said, 'Hey,' in my ear." Now we're
Mhm.
down there, we didn't hear it. I'm kind of like, well, "Here we go." But
Right.
when I played it back, there was the "Hey" on tape going, "Hey." And he heard it when no one else did it, but he heard it and my camera mic heard it.
He definitely had the ability to
Yeah, he had talent.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They seem to open up to him a lot.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So,
So
and
I'll
he's gonna
miss
be
him.
missed.
And every time I use them, I think of him, and
Great guy.
he was, he knew I had a gift for him. So
And he had a heart attack
yeah.
and he was by himself.
Hmm.
So there was no one there that could call 911 or resuscitate him.
Yeah, that's
So,
terrible, man.
but great guy, and we're gonna miss him. And
Yeah.
And I hope he
Yeah.
talks to us. I told him to
Yeah.
talk to us if anything ever happened.
Yeah.
Oh, he dies.
No doubt, man. No
Come
doubt.
on back and talk
So
to us.
we've been slowly but surely trying to, see if maybe he'll pop up and, give us a sign. So hopefully
Hey,
one day.
he may just do it, man. I'd
Yeah.
definitely keep trying at it. Because if
But
he
yeah,
was into it in life, definitely be
yeah,
into it in the afterlife,
for sure. Definitely dowsing rods and Ovilus for me.
Yeah. And
And
all
No.
those guys were a great group of guys too.
Mhm.
But unfortunately, after that, their group kind of broke up, and
yeah,
then
Yeah,
Ryan, who was part of End of Days, is now with my group.
right.
With my team, and he's a hell of a guy too. And
yeah,
all those guys were great, and everybody, like I said, I meet paranormal investigating, from the people that own the places that
Mhm.
you investigate to the people that do it. I mean, everybody in that field is just really, really nice. I've never met any group of people that are so much nice like that than any other group I've ever
right.
met.
Yeah.
I mean, just great community to be in the paranormal. That's why I love it so much.
Yeah,
That's why I want to keep doing it.
exactly. You told me about you got some footage of something jumping in and out of a mirror, and that made me think of the scrying mirrors. Do you guys ever do that in your investigations?
Get a scryer room.
Skyrim.
Yeah, I
that's
just
what we
learned
got.
about that a couple weeks ago from
We
another
got-
group that was telling me about
Yeah,
it.
We got a really good orb not too long ago at the Monroe.
Yeah,
Last
the
time we
Monroe.
went to the Monroe, we went to the scry room, and there was a couple that shot off. And
Right. In
That-
Randolph County, we'll send you this one too. Randolph County, she was sitting in the chair in the middle of the room, not moving.
Mhm.
Because I
Yeah.
tell people, stay still, because we don't want your reflections on the mirror moving on.
Right.
Stick figure pops in the mirror to her left, and it's just moving around, growing a little bit, getting short, moving around. But what happened is that it jumped from one mirror to another mirror.
Mhm.
Oh wow.
That was right beside it, but there was probably like about a foot and a half gap between the mirrors.
Mhm.
And it went from one mirror and jumped right over to the other one.
Yep.
And,
Wow.
and she
That
was
is
not moving. It
insane.
was not her reflection and
Yeah.
stuff like that. So
And-
that was a great one.
Yeah. I think also in that scry room, this is what really made, because this was
You
my
saw it.
first ghost hunt actually, is I learned that I can see the little white orbs of light.
Mhm.
But I pointed down, I said, hey, there's something right there. And as soon as I said that, you can see on camera it form and be in the mirror. And I just thought that was,
Yeah,
that was
it
neat.
became a stick figure
Yeah.
and it was
When I s-
jumping
It
from mirror to
became
mirror.
a stick figure, and then you can see the orb on camera.
Now, I don't know
Wow.
how a stick figure would jump from mirror to mirror without the person in there sitting in the chair not moving an inch.
And
Well, it
also in that
wouldn't.
square, yeah. Also in that square room last time we went, how long ago was that? A month?
Yeah,
I
that was,
think it was like a month.
May 10th,
May 10th.
the one that was on the chair.
And he was filming in front of me, so he was in a doorway, and we have this on camera. I moved the camera and I feel horrible about it, but yeah, but you can also see my reaction the first time. So we had a wheelchair behind him, and
Oh.
we're not thinking much about this wheelchair or whatever. It comes flying through. I'm in the room with the mirrors. It comes flying towards the other door out of the scry room, full force, goes over wires
Wow.
right behind him. I didn't get that one on film, so I moved my camera over there.
And I moved the
Towards there.
wheelchair back to where it was. I
He
said, "If you
moved
wanna
it back.
do it again."
And sure enough,
Yeah.
as soon as I get up to move the camera, because we were going to do something else, it starts moving. So I fling the camera back, and I got it
wow.
right when it's, yeah.
You can see me standing there on my shoulder, and you can see the wheelchair behind me just start moving. And then she moved the camera, but pulled it back when it came up to the
Yeah.
road. So that was a pretty good session down there. But
Yeah.
the first time it moved, I thought there was a snake in the room because I heard like a
Oh man.
yeah, because you can hear me go, whoa, 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 because I heard it. There shouldn't be anything moving.
Hmm.
And then because it's pitch black in there, I can't see nothing except because it's a screen. And when you look at a screen and look away from it, you can't see nothing because you got that light
Yeah.
blinded. So,
Yeah,
so I pushed it back into the corner of the room, straighten out the wheels so we're going east and west instead of north and south. And not even 2 minutes later, it came flying right on back down there. So we put it back and we left the room. We came back down there about 3-4 hours later, still in the same place.
Yeah.
So,
And there's
Wow.
no incline or anything in that room. It's flat. Like, it's just a
Wow.
normal room.
but I don't know if it's paranormal. I think it is, but it was really weird that it did it twice and then wouldn't do it again.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I'll
So,
say this, I'll go talk to ghosts and all that good stuff, but if a snake's in the room, I'm getting out the door. You know
yeah,
what I mean?
because it almost sounded like slithering.
Yeah.
Yeah, that a snake is terrifying. That's one of my worst fears, man. I'll tackle a demonic entity all day, but if you put a
Mm.
snake in the room, I'm gone, son.
I got used to them out there in Arizona. I grew up in Tucson, so we used to try to play with them.
Oh yeah, you trip over them things out in the yard, boy. You just go out to
Oh yeah,
check the
yeah.
mail, you'll fall over 5 or 6 of them.
Yeah, they'll be there
Dang,
everywhere. Don't lift up a rock.
no doubt. Um, let's see. Have you ever encountered anything real dark, like a demonic entity or anything? Because I don't know how you guys. A lot of people say I don't do the demonic. It's not demonic or whatever. But you know what I mean. Is you ever come anything that's real dark? That really truly scared you. Something like that.
At the end of the day, I'm Christian.
Mm-hmm.
So I believe that there is an evil,
Yeah.
and I fully believe that, you're messing with something sometimes,
Mm-hmm.
and there's always going to be that around us. And so yeah, for sure, I've definitely, and I don't like it. So I try to stay away from that. But yeah, I think the first time I went ghost hunting, it was in Randolph County. It was in the basement, and I was alone because, why not?
Mm-hmm.
With the Ovilus. And I'm sitting there with the Ovilus. I don't have a camera around me. Scott's, I don't know where he's at. I'm sitting in the dark, and all of a sudden, it just starts spitting out, like darker, like
Wow.
stuff.
Oh,
It was like devil, hell. There was like a whole bunch of other stuff that it said. And I was just like everything on my body just stood up, and I was like, nope, not
Yeah.
today, not on my first one, you know what I mean? So I don't know if it wanted to do that, if it wanted to scare me and it knew that would scare me, and all that. So
I've never really had anything that. The only time I ran out of a place, it was at the
Mm-hmm.
Jenny Wade's house in Gettysburg,
Okay.
and I had a SB7 spirit box,
Mm-hmm.
and I laid it on the bed. It wasn't on, and I started looking at the portrait of Jenny Wade's family there. And as soon as I started saying the portrait and looking at the SB7, just started turning on all by itself. Couldn't shut it off, so
Wow.
I finally got it shut off, and I was like, okay. So I put it back down on the bed, and I was doing my film, and it went off again. And for some reason, when I picked it up that time and I was trying to shut it off, I felt like something behind me, and my whole back just started getting goose pimply, like it was like moving
Mm-hmm.
around to my front. I got out of there. And the lady
No
that
doubt.
unlocked the Jenny Wade's house was sitting out in her car, and she's like, "Are you all right?" And I said, "Yeah, I'm just got a little spook in there." But I set my camcorder down on the wall that was there, and you
Mm-hmm.
can see me messing with it. I said, "I can't get this to shut off," and all of a sudden it just stopped. And you can't see the box, but you can see a big orb that came down from my hand and went right by the camera as soon as it stopped.
Wow.
So, and that's a good place down there too, is Jenny Wade's
Where
house.
is that?
and
Is that in Ohio as
you're
well?
talking to someone that was in
That's
Bobby Mackey's alone.
Yeah, I did
See,
Bobby Mackey's by myself too. I was, like I
and
said, I was
you know
not
what's
evil.
sad is they tore that place down, didn't they?
I
It's not
know.
there
Yeah, it
anymore.
broke my heart, broken heart.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping that they are going to build back on that site. I'm just wondering will they still be the same,
Yeah. I don't know. There's a lot of history in that place, man. I don't see how it couldn't,
Yeah, a
be
lot
the
of history
same.
out there. Sorry.
So how would you handle if you did come across something truly demonic that you thought, how would you guys handle that, man?
Straight to the church.
Yeah, I had to
Besides
go
jumping in the
one
car and
time.
going home.
Straight to the church. I would immediately. That would be my first.
Mhm.
Yeah, my only experience is that I was at the Farnsworth house in Gettysburg. We were down in the
Man,
basement.
Gettysburg. Wow.
Yeah, this is before I even started the team and everything.
Mhm.
And I got 3 scratches on the back of my neck.
Okay.
Well, my ex-wife at the time took pictures of it. And then we left the building after the little ghost tour there that we did. And we get back to the motel. And I said, well, take another picture of it. And they were gone. So I didn't think anything about it. I was like, well, that's
Wow.
weird. But about 2 days, 3 days after that, I was having nightmares. And in my nightmare, there was something behind me that was speaking like in Latin or Greek in a mean voice going, "Rosh Shwar." And as I start to look in my dream to see who's behind me, it was like these big set of jaws, wolf jaws, would clamp down on my shoulder, and I would wake up. Well, one night after about 3 nights of this, I woke up on a patio. Don't know how I got out there. I had a bunch of scratches on the left side of my head. Don't know what it
Wow.
was. So that night, that day, I dropped my grandson off to the school,
Mhm.
and it was on a Monday. And I looked over, and there was a Baptist church over there. And I said, oh, what the hell? Went on
Right.
over there. I parked in the parking lot, got out, messed with the doorknob. No one was there. So I started to get back in my car, and a car pulled in. And he's like, can I help you? And I said, yeah, I'm looking for someone to talk to about something. And
Right.
he goes, well, I'm the pastor. And for some reason, he said that he felt like he had to be there on a Monday, which they
Wow.
are. So I told him the story about what happened in the Farnsworth, and he said some blessings on me. And he said that the people shouldn't go around looking for ghosts. I said, well, what happens if they do? He says, well, you say the Lord's Prayer and
Yeah.
protect yourself. And
Wow.
that was the end of that. Once he said the blessing over me, and the dream stopped, and never had no problems with it again. And that was the
Now,
weirdest thing I ever had. I almost
now
stopped
that's
doing it.
fascinating. That's absolutely fascinating,
Yeah, I almost
especially
stopped
since,
doing it after that.
wow, I can see why you'd feel that way,
Yeah, and
but
the
that's
scratches weren't
fascinating.
from like a dramatic. It was like I must have fell or hit something. Okay.
Yeah,
Because it was
there's no
like a
telling.
gouge and scabbed, and it stayed there for a while.
Mm.
So that
Wow.
was the only bad experience I ever had coming out of that. And right there, that kind of taught me too to respect,
Mhm.
don't antagonize, and say the Lord's Prayer or whatever God you believe in, and
Yeah.
burn some sage and just go on home. And I haven't had a problem since then. That was 17 years ago. So
Wow. Wow.
that was my
What about,
experience.
what's your best EVP you ever got? I know you
Mm,
said you had some good ones.
I've got some good ones. The best one I got was not an EVP. It was the EVM. I don't know,
What is that?
EMP. It's not a voice. We were in Randolph County again, and we
Wow, that
caught
place is
jazz
fascinating.
jazz music. Jazz
Oh,
music.
okay. Yeah.
No one back, no, no
Wow.
one was playing it, and no one heard it with their ears. But when we played it back on the recording, there it was, and that's one of my favorite ones that I got. Is
Yeah,
that
no doubt.
now? I
That
thought
would
I
be
heard
great.
something before that because you can hear me on the video saying, "Was that them?" Because I heard like a scream, like a, "Brrr," and then it went in and playing
Right.
jazz music. So that
That's
was
awesome.
kind of cool. Go Away was another one.
Mhm.
You Hurt was the child in the morgue, and we've gotten a lot of them.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then it's like one word ones like "Hey" or
Yeah.
"Leave," stuff like that. We've got them just about every place we went.
Right.
So
Or the ones that we can't even decipher. We're like, just like we
Yeah.
know that they're saying something, you just can't.
understand them.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Randolph, the last one time we did it, we put an X camera up and we
Uh-huh.
heard like giggling in the hallway. Now we're up in the attic. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's 3 stories down. So
Wow.
Yeah.
like I said,
Wow.
if you ever want any of these evidence,
Oh, I
I'll put
definitely
you
do.
up.
I definitely do.
Because
I'll tell
everything
you
we
guys a
talk about, well, we
right.
document everything we talk about.
Right. Yeah.
Well, that's being a good investigator there. I'll tell you guys a quick story, and I'll get your take on this.
Mhm.
The one time I did try to go ghost hunting, because this was probably 20 years ago. I went to a graveyard and I was walking around. I didn't even have a recorder. I had a laptop I was carrying around. Had record on the laptop, and you hear me say, because I'd been there. It's like 1 o'clock in the morning. I'm the only one there. And you hear me say, "Well, this is your last chance to show me something before I leave." And as soon as, I get done saying that, you hear a little child's voice. I mean, plain as day, this would be a Class A EVP. It says, "Where's my mommy?"
Mhm.
So, what's
Oh,
your take on like children being ghosts? Because I find that sad, honestly, to think that a child would be in a
Mhm.
graveyard, walk around, still wondering where its mommy's at. But I'm here to tell you this. People believe what they want to believe, but this was me in a graveyard by myself, and this
yeah.
graveyard is way out, like in the country, like we weren't around any kind of city or anything like that. So
Right.
there was no interference. Let's put it that way. That came through, and it was plain as day. And I went back the next day, and I was actually where I was standing at. I was standing next to a gravestone of an 8-year-old girl.
Mhm.
So, what's your take on that, man? Because I find that sad, honestly. To think
It
that there
is.
might be children like that.
Yeah, that's horrendous.
I don't know. I don't know what really happens in the afterlife. I
Hmm.
think we've only scratched the surface.
Yeah.
And I think, in my true belief, I believe that a person don't have to die someplace to haunt it.
Right.
I think they can go back because it was a good memory for them at one time in their life.
Hmm.
But I believe that spirits can come and go as they please. And I don't know if they can go into the light and come out of the light and go back and forth.
Right.
But to me, it's sort of like they're there and then they're not there sometimes. Like we get the name Ida up at Randolph, and she's a girl that hung herself at the place.
Oh, wow.
Now it seems like we were getting her a lot, and then all of a sudden she just disappears. So I don't know if they can travel, come back and forth. Like take a vacation and go down memory lane and go back to the place. I don't know, but people have told me that a child's voice usually represents a demon.
That's
just
supposed to
posing
be
as
my
a
next
child.
question. And I'll tell you guys this much. Of course, I didn't hear it while I was there. This is after I went home and I was listening to it. But I got real sick that night, ran a fever all night.
Oh.
What do you think? Do you think that was part of what happened to me?
Yeah, I think they can definitely cause
I think they
sickness.
the voice touched you. I think it was closer to you than what I think it was standing right next to you.
Yeah, and I'll tell you this much.
Just
My last name's Derek, and the tombstone I was standing next to, her name was Debbie Derek. And coming from the small town I live in, there's no doubt that, if her last name's Derek, she's on the same family tree somewhere, But I thought that was fascinating. And you guys asked me at the first if I ever do any investigation. This whole night is the reason I don't do it much because, I went home, found the EVP, got real sick. And about that time, my son ran out of the room. I was like, because, at this point, it's probably 2:30 in the morning. Everybody in the house is asleep. I said, what are you doing? And he said, well, if Breeley's going to be up watching TV, I'm going to be up watching TV. And that's my daughter. And at this point, Jace was probably 7. She was probably 5 years old. And I said, what are you talking about? Breeley's in bed. He said, no, she just ran through the house and went to the living rooms watching TV. And I looked at him and I said, no, she's in bed. So there's no doubt in my mind, I brought that little girl home with me that night. And, and you guys asked me if I do much investigating. That's why I don't do much investigating. But she never caused any problems, we just took her on in the family.
Yeah.
But from that point on, we had stuff happen in that house from then until we moved out.
I believe that time for them is a lot different.
Oh, yeah.
I think that it's probably a lot quicker. I think that there probably isn't like a lot of suffering. But I think with everything like spiritually that I do believe in, that definitely time is not what we think it is.
Exactly.
Does that make sense? Or what we represent time to be?
Or just non-existence for them at all,
Well, it's like Raptor. Everybody thinks Raptor's going to happen in one day. How do we know that one day for God is not 100 years for us?
Yeah.
And it's already going on or something. You know what I'm saying?
The rapture may be the moment you pass on yourself. You may have your own little rapture.
Right.
So it's not like one day, half the world's going to go floating up into the clouds. Half of it stays down there. I think it's happening right now, and it's been happening.
Right.
Yeah. So I kind of believe that way too, because, stuff in the Bible, it's so, we don't know how it was worded at first and how it's been lost in translation over the years.
Right.
You kind of got to just kind of believe what you believe and do the best you can do. That's the way I put it.
Have your own personal relationship with
exactly.
them.
You're right.
And stuff. And but if you said you brought him home, that she was attached to you, so she had to have touched you, and that's probably what made you sick.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was crazy. I've never been that. I won't say I was like deathly sick, but I ran a fever, achy all night, just felt like crap.
But you felt great before that, right?
Oh yeah, I was fine. Yeah. I was felt good enough to walk around in the graveyard at 1 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, sometimes I feel like I get a little nauseous and I have to get out of the room for a minute and go.
Yeah.
And I don't know what it is. Sometimes I just like, oh, God, man, my stomach does not feel right. Or, so I'll leave, go outside for a couple minutes, come back in, everything be fine. So
I think that energy can make you sick like that.
Yeah. So like when I'm using like the dowsing rods, it takes a lot out of me, and you can tell I'm kind of like, like I'm trying to focus and, really let them use the wands and, me and, be able to talk. And, I do have to take breaks for that because it's a lot.
Paranormal investigating ain't easy. I mean, you got to pack up everything the night before, you charge everything, and then you got to go travel 3 to 4 or 5 hours and then unpack everything and then go sit in the dark until something to touch you. I mean, it's a lot of work, in a lot of ways, but it's
worth it.
Yeah, it's worth it. I mean, it's definitely worth it. Like I said, you get to meet great people, and so my advice would be: don't antagonize. Say the Lord's Prayer or whatever prayer you want to say, and Just be cool with the spirits, and they'll be cool with you.
Yeah, oh yeah.
On the
Yeah,
side.
do exactly the opposite of what they do on Ghost Adventures. That's how I like to tell people.
Yeah.
You know,
Because I know, because like you said, you got an attachment.
Mhm.
I've had scratches and stuff, and yeah, you got to be cool with them, and you got to realize too that there is a certain amount of risk that when you do it too,
Yeah.
just like anything
Yeah.
else you're gonna do. If you're gonna skydive, there's a risk.
Yeah.
If you're gonna auto race, there's a risk. If you're gonna
Mhm.
paranormal investigate, there's a risk. You know, so just try to be as cool and as polite and respectful as you can to the spirits. That's what I tell my team.
Yeah.
Yep.
So.
What about those dowsing rods? What's the coolest things ever happened using those things? I find those dowsing rods fascinating. You know, that people find water with them and everything.
When they go behind.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely when they go behind me. Because
What's
that
that
is
mean?
something is they literally will go all the way
Instead of
behind
crossing,
me.
Oh,
so
really?
yeah, it was just to make sure that nothing's happening.
Yeah.
She'll ask a couple questions and ask her to cross them. Okay. Then put them back. Then if she wants to see if something's really communicating with her, she'll ask another question and say, put them behind me this time. And now it's real hard to hold those out there and try to get them to go behind you
Yeah.
on your own.
Yeah.
So then
Yeah, I
what
don't
they
see.
do is that they just start moving towards each shoulder. They'll stop and I'll be like, come on, you can touch them. Then you see them touch.
Yeah.
And as soon as she says, okay, go ahead and straighten them out, they come right back on out. Right back to the starting position.
It's
Wow.
basically like my way of proving, like I'm not fucking with these. I'm not,
Right.
moving them myself. They're on a swivel. So like they're literally like I'm holding the caps
Mhm.
on them and
So you
they're
can't move your
moving by
wrist.
themselves. Like there's nothing like, and I'll say if I jerk, because like, your body moves and you're
Mhm.
naturally gonna have to like, so if my body moves or if I go like this on accident, I'll say, hey, like my right hand moved. Like
Yeah.
I did that.
The handles are like in a tube, a metal.
Mhm.
There's like a metal rod, and it goes into a plastic tube, so you can't manipulate the turning of them.
Right.
They just turn on their own. So, and I thought that was very interesting when Bill introduced her to her.
I
I've
think
seen 'em
my
before.
craziest moment was when I was talking to my grandmother. That
Mm.
was insane. We went to the Escape, the bar that we both work at, just for a little, session to see, if we can do anything. And that bar is pretty haunted, so
No
I started
doubt.
working there for that. But I'm asking it questions, I'm going further, and she was even able to like give me little hints that it was her using, her sister's name and stuff like that. So I
Okay.
knew it was, someone I knew. So
And sometimes you can get emotional at these ghost hunts.
Oh,
I
yeah.
was down at the orphanage in Gettysburg where kids reportedly were tortured and killed down there in the basement after the battle. And I went down there with my daughter for her wedding present. So, but when I was down there, I started getting really hostile because it's this lady that was killing her, and I was yelling. I was like, "How the hell can you do that to the kids like that? You're
Mhm.
murdering shit like that." And my daughter was like, "Dad, Dad," and I was like, I'm like, "Oh, yeah, I'm sorry," but it's sort of like I think I felt the anger of those kids,
yeah,
and they
Yeah.
wanted me to relay. Her name was what, Rose
I can't.
Carmichael, something like that,
Yeah.
Rosa Carmichael. It was the
Wow.
lady's name, and they ran her out of town. They bought her a train ticket and got her out of town. But so far, they said about 4 or 5 kids came up missing. No one ever know what happened to them, and they believe that they
Dang.
were murdered and moved up into the hills and buried.
Ah, that's
It's horrible.
terrible. It's
Yeah.
terrible.
Yep. And I didn't
Um,
expect that going to Gettysburg about the orphanage. That took me by a surprise. I was like, "Hold on,
wow.
you got an orphanage that's haunted, haunted?" And I said,
Yeah,
"I want to see this
how
place."
big is Gettysburg? 'Cause I always thought it was just a battlefield or something like that. There's
No,
all these.
Gettysburg is one of the best places you can go to.
It's a whole town. So like
Yeah,
that
Really?
entire place was
Yeah.
the battle.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Okay.
they went through.
When the Union had to retreat through the town, they were being murdered and shot in the back.
Mhm.
So the whole town's there's nowhere you can walk in that town really that a soldier didn't lay dead.
Yeah.
Wow. I didn't
So
know it was a town, so I've learned something new today.
Yeah.
no, you need to go on up there, man. I tell you
Yeah.
what, it's a great place.
Yeah.
Just for the food and the history.
Yeah.
And dude, everybody that goes there, something crazy happens. Everybody
yeah.
that goes there.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's one of the most active places on earth, man, because it's crazy.
Anywhere that the ground has been soaked with blood is going to be.
Yeah,
Mhm.
well, we were at the farmhouse. They call it the Battlefield Farmhouse because it was right on the other side of Cope's Hill. They brought the wounded down that side of the hill
Right.
and brought them into this house. While we were up there doing a session, we got one of the loudest bangs that we ever heard.
Mhm.
And
Mm.
we got it on both cameras, the XLS and on my camcorder. And it sounded like someone dropped a bowling ball on that floor. It was like, boom. I was like,
Wow.
I was
It's like a
"Holy
cannon
shit."
going off
Yeah.
or something like that.
Yeah, we'll send you that one too. That's a quick
Yeah,
one.
no doubt, no doubt.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
But on
write
the
that one down.
XLS camera too, when the sound happened, it was like a shadow figure jumped up. You know,
Oh.
have you ever seen the XLS cameras? They got like a
It-
dark border around them.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay, and then out of that darkness came like this shape,
yeah.
and it was right during the bang, bam. So
Wow, I wonder what that was.
I don't know. Like I said, we're going to be back in there again this year, so we're going to go
Yeah.
take a second. I like to go back and check up on things and try
Yeah,
to get
you
some
guys will have to
questions.
come back on the show and tell me about it when you
Oh,
guys do
definitely,
that.
definitely.
I asked you guys about those dowsing rods. For some reason, I'm fascinated with those things. I may dabble into that a little bit myself, but I'm honestly, I
I
watch
can show
myself
them
with it.
off real quick if you want.
Yeah, let's see
Yeah,
them. Because I find them fast. I don't know why, but
I'll
that's
get
the
'em
one
out.
piece of equipment that I find fascinating.
Yeah,
I
it's
don't know
because you're
why.
It's
using
probably
you're
one of the
using your
oldest pieces of equipment.
yeah,
you
you're
know, in
using
the
your
street.
body and
It's in the XLS box.
okay.
Yeah, right there on top. Yeah, we pack all this stuff away.
Yeah, you don't want it, messing with you while you're at the house. That's for sure.
No, we got the Fairfield Infirmary coming up July 27th, so I'm looking forward
Oh
to getting
yeah.
back there. Yeah, that place, I just love that place. Good
Do you
evidence there. Very smart ghosts or
do you
spirits.
guys ever make it to Tennessee or anything like that?
Not yet. I want to work my way south. I've worked myself west, east. Now I want to go south. So I'm making like a triangle.
There's South Pittsburgh Hospital and the
Mhm.
Harriman Hospital are two good places to hit.
Now
Then
they
there's the
allow private investigation.
yeah, you can. That's one. The Harriman Hospital is the one my daughter and her group's going to, and then there's the Chickamauga Battlefield in Chattanooga.
Yeah,
There's a lot of places around here that everybody talks about. It's got some good activity in them.
yeah. We're gonna get down to Kentucky, southeastern Kentucky,
Mhm.
for a place called the Chestnut House.
Ooh, I ain't never heard of that one.
Yeah, it was owned by one of the Civil War generals, Confederate general, and a lot of haunting in there. So we want to,
No doubt.
and it's right in the middle of nowhere, no internet, no background
Yeah.
noise and stuff. So
Yeah, no
All
doubt.
right, so here these are.
here, let me scoot out of your way.
So
Yeah, those are cool.
yeah. So these were made by Bill. He did pass
Yeah.
away, the one that we were talking about. So these are like pin caps, like actual
Mhm.
like writing pins. They're just plastic. He cut the
Oh, okay.
pins off of them, and then put the wires through them.
Are those copper? I'm getting look
Yeah,
copper. Maybe
yeah,
they're
yeah.
not. Oh, yeah, that's cool. Something that
And then
sample that can be used like that. That's awesome.
yeah, I believe he said that what he did is he went out, he buried them in the ground.
Really?
Yeah, they've
Wow.
been. I don't know what the whole process of it was, but buried them in the ground, blessed them.
Mhm.
So they're the real
Wow.
thing. They've been blessed and
Yeah.
whatever, that
Yeah, I don't know why
entails.
those things fascinate me so much, but anybody that says they work with dowsing rods, then
Yeah.
I go into it like, well, what happens when you do this? What happens when you do that, man? I
Yeah,
think they're
yeah. You
fascinating.
you can do anything with them, really. So
Yeah.
what I was taught was to shake them out,
Yeah.
any energy or anything, and I've been doing it since. So and then I'll usually ask, hey, like, is anyone in the room with me? If so, can you go ahead and put them in the middle for me?
And here we go.
All right. Okay, can you point in the direction that you are in the room?
Wow. Wow. See, look at that.
always towards me, ain't it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They'll just usually, stop wherever they're standing and
That's fascinating.
chill there. And then I try to stay as still as possible and show people
Hmm.
all of my, I guess, arms and hands and,
Oh, you're not moving.
not shaking it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Go ahead and put them back in the middle for me.
Wow.
Right on cue.
Wow.
And then I also like to ask, hey, can you put them behind me? And this is always like the one I like to do.
Wow.
And I am slightly moving. It's because I'm alive and I'm breathing.
Exactly.
But
You ain't
But
moving
I
that one.
not with enough force to move them by themselves.
Well, I can tell you to make them do that, you would have to kind of move your hand
Yeah.
in a way that would swing them because that's an odd way for you to have to move your hand to make them go that
Yeah.
direction. You know,
Come on, put them back.
Go ahead and put them all the way back.
All the way back, guys.
that's crazy, man.
There you go. Nice.
Wow. So what's the history behind your guys' house now?
I think my dad or my brother visits me here.
Okay. Okay.
Go ahead and put them back in the middle for me.
Wow.
And it's weird to feel them move and like to be able to like use them. It's a weird feeling. And what I like to describe it as is almost like heavy electricity. That makes sense. Is
Oh,
what I feel.
I can
Don't
tell
know if
by the
it's
look on
you.
your face you were
Yeah.
experiencing something. I really can.
I do go into a trance, like the
Mhm.
videos of me using them. You can see me staring. I'm like, like
Yeah,
just trying to
that's what I
focus.
just seen. Yeah, I could tell
Yeah.
you was concentrating on something or something right there. That's
So would you
fascinating.
like to ask it a question?
No, I'm gonna
Or-
mind my own business, man. No, I'm gonna mind my own business.
Hello. Are you female? If so, can you cross? Give it a second. Are you male? If so, can you cross them?
I'll tell you, it's my dad or my brother.
Yeah.
I'm getting chills right down the legs.
Are you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
All right. Go ahead and put them back in the middle for me.
So they're a great piece of equipment. Let me tell you what.
No doubt.
All right.
I
Thank
think
you for
I think I
talking to me.
may. I've actually got some friends.
First online lesson.
And I shake them out after.
Check them out, man.
Yeah.
And thank you to whoever was just talking to us there. We appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.
I think I know who it is.
Yeah.
Because last night I told her I felt like something was tapping me on top of my head.
Yeah.
My father had a way of doing that. He'll walk by you, tap you on the head and say, get out
Yeah.
there and pick up the dog shit or whatever. You know what it is, get your chores done, tap, so.
Well, but I actually have some friends. They run Offbeat Paranormal and Offbeat by Design. Do you guys know them?
I haven't.
No, I haven't seen them, but we can look them up.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're awesome people, man. And they're some of the people that I've met through this journey I'm on here. But they make spirit boards and they actually make dowsing rods. So I may,
wow.
I may holler at them and do stuff and get me a set because I think that
Yeah.
stuff's cool, man. Just maybe I'll just
And that's a perfect
hang them on the
example.
wall behind me, or something like that. But I think that stuff's cool.
Yeah, that's a perfect example. She wasn't moving, she
No,
was
no.
keep her elbows in and not
Yeah.
move and just breathe.
Do you know what made me, I could tell that I would never say that you guys are faking anything, but
Yeah.
you could tell by the look on her face that something was happening. You know, that's something you can't fake. Because you could sit there and you could manipulate stuff. Of course, I think you could see it if somebody was doing it, but I could tell by the look on your face that there was something flowing through you doing that.
Yeah.
And that was,
Oh,
that was pretty cool to see that here on the show, man. So I appreciate you showing us
Yeah.
that, man. I really do.
No problem.
And I think that you do get people out there that try to fake stuff, but it's very
Yeah.
hard to fake it, especially if you keep the original on the SD card.
Mm-hmm.
Because you
Yeah.
can't do nothing to that video without a
Right.
code being put in it to show that you did something to it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And we don't
Exactly.
ever do anything like that, because faking evidence like that is a good way of getting your ass tossed out of the community.
Yeah.
Well, you're absolutely done if you get caught
Yeah,
faking something.
Yeah.
You're
Exactly.
absolutely done
I
because
don't want that.
nobody has any respect for that, especially
Yeah.
any of the people that I've interviewed and stuff like that.
Yeah, and the people that do it, they're just giving the good ones bad names.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, you guys
yeah.
probably faked it like the rest of them, and
Yeah,
it hurts
yeah.
sometimes,
Yeah.
But we just keep pushing on through and just show everybody, and we got nothing to hide.
Yep.
So I keep the originals, and then I break down the only thing edited that I do is break them down into a shorter version.
Mhm.
Get to the evidence and then talk about it on a podcast.
Right.
That or enhance. So like we'll enhance like audio so you can hear it better. Just keep on,
But adding audio or adding or taking splicing or anything like that, there's nothing like that ever happened.
yeah.
Wow.
Splicing, yes. We'll splice down videos, but
Yeah, like I said, just
Yeah.
get to the
Yeah.
good, get to the meat
Yeah,
and bone, and then pull that
Exactly.
out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But like I said, I always keep the original, and I always keep the parts that I break down too. Cast.
Wow. Well, I've had you guys on here for an hour. I did want to ask you one more question. You guys got time to answer one more question for
course.
me? I want to be respectful of your time, but
Mhm.
I didn't realize we was going to get into an investigation on here. That was awesome.
Right, that's
That
right.
was a
That's
first on this show. I really appreciate it, man.
Wow.
That was
Yay!
cool. But another thing that I'm fascinated with is the Estes method. Do you guys do that at all, or any
Yeah.
experiences with that?
Yeah.
Yeah, where you blindfold yourself,
Yeah, yeah.
put headphones on, and go through the
Yeah.
spirit box. I've
Yeah.
had little. I can't stand the spirit box. 'Cause
Yeah.
It just drives me crazy. But other people I'm like, here, you guys listen.
Right.
You guys asked the question. But people have gotten answers to our questions. So we
That's
do it,
awesome.
so
I enjoy it.
Well,
we don't do
I
that
really
much.
appreciate you guys coming on the show, and I
Appreciate
really
you having
appreciate
us.
that demonstration there. That was the first on the show, and I really appreciate it. And
Yeah.
We'll send you about 3 or 4 of those clips that we talked about.
yes,
if you wanna
most
add-
definitely.
Okay.
And I will add all that into the show. And you guys have an open invite anytime you want to come back on here and talk about stuff with me.
Of course. We'll let you know when we get back from Fairfield. Yeah, we're gonna go head to Fairfield. We can do it one after. That's fine.
Yeah. Just let me
anytime you want
know.
us back, got more.
You got an open invitation, and I do have some friends of mine that they have their podcast. So if you're interested in going in any more podcasts, let
Of
me
course.
know, and I'll put you guys out there, man, because you guys are awesome to talk to. I get some guests get on here and you'll say, hey, what about this? And then they'll just say 1 or 2 words, then they'll sit there. I love it when I don't have to float. The conversation just flows, and you guys, it just flows.
No, it was a good time. I had fun.
Yeah, I really appreciate you guys, man. And
if anybody wants to see the evidence that we got, go Beyond the Grave Ghost Hunts on Facebook. Beyond the Grave Ghost Hunts 8218 on YouTube.
Yeah.
Yep.
We're trying to build everything up. We're like maybe 81 people away from 4,000 followers.
Yeah, we're almost there.
Yeah, you guys are doing good. I noticed that myself. You're doing real good.
Yeah, we've been at it for about 2 years now, so we're averaging about 2,000 people a year. So
I'm getting better at editing. I'm trying my best.
But she does great interviews.
Yeah.
Like I said, on our page, you'll see the interview with Ted, and he's a colorful character.
Yeah, he is.
And she did a great job on that one. She's learning a lot. She knows how to use these Dowson rods. She's fearless. She'll go stick in the morgue by herself.
Yeah.
And that's what it takes.
You're tougher than me. I wouldn't do that. I'll tell you that much.
I'll go straight into the body cooler. Let's hang out.
Not me, boy. Not me.
Yeah, but if I ever feel like the atmosphere is changing for the worse, I'll get the team out of there and go outside and let it calm down. But if I feel like anybody's in danger, I will not push them to do anything or anything like that. I want everybody to be comfortable.
Right.
I'm just weird.
Because I think that you get more evidence. Not that you get more evidence, but I think that your senses open up when you're by yourself in a dark place. You're like, so that's why I like to have people go do one-on-ones in one area, take the camcorder and film yourself. Come on back.
Yeah.
So that's fun.
And
some people won't do it either.
Yeah, definitely learned that I do that by myself. Thank you so much. So
but we're looking forward to next year too.
Yeah.
We're going to try to get Waverly Hills. We're going to try to get people to come on out there and do Waverly Hills and trying to get some new places.
If you guys go to Waverly Hills, let me know. I might just meet you there because that's on my. I don't live but a couple hours from Waverly Hills, so.
Oh yeah.
Oh really?
Yeah. So I'd like to get up
we'll
there and
definitely
check
let
that
you know.
out. Well, guys, I appreciate you coming on the show. I'll put links to all your stuff in the show notes, and you guys send me those links or the footage, and we'll add that into the show and all that good stuff. But hang around here real quick when I stop recording, and we'll talk for a second. But yeah, thanks for coming on the show, guys, and you got an open invitation to come back anytime.
Great podcast.
All right. Thanks, guys.
No problem.
The unknown awakens, hear the echoes grow loud. We're diving deep, join the curious crowd. In the paranormal war room, we take flight, bringing the spooky vibes, shadows and light. With every beat, the legends we explore, unleashing the spirits. We're ready for more. Aliens striking down like thunder from the skies. Cryptids lurking near, in the darkness they rise. Paranormal tales that will twist your mind. Tune into the mystery, leave the norm behind. In the war room we fight with the strange insight, unveiling truth. truths in the paranormal war room. We take flight, bringing the spooky vibes, shadows and light. With every beat, the legends we explore, unleashing the spirits. We're ready for more. So hit that subscribe, don't be left in the dark. Join us in the war, let's make our mark.